Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey here, once again with another video on Arrow Season 7. So Arrow in the lead up to its 7th season hasn't really had too much stuff released in regards to just news, pictures, all of that. Like, sure, it is beating shows like Black Lightning, Supergirl, and Legends, but in comparison to The Flash, they haven't really released much, have they? And, well, people are always asking why I don't do as many Arrow videos as I have in like other previous off seasons, and it really comes down to a lack of news. And the reason for all of that is that this season, the showrunner, or the new showrunner, might I say, that being Beth Schwartz, has said that she wants to keep spoilers and just, general reveals to a minimum, if not cancel them out completely. So you will notice this season that Stephen Amell won't be tweeting out as many teasers and stuff like that by the sounds of it, and Beth herself will most likely not tweet out things that the old showrunner Mark Guggenheim would, tweet out in the past. But obviously that is for us to wait and see throughout Season 7 whether that is stuck to or not. But in this video, we do have a few things to talk about that have been released over the past few days, roughly, in regards to Arrow Season 7, that weren't worth making individual videos just on those pieces, but it's worth doing it in a big combined video. But of course, if you do enjoy the Arrow videos, it would be awesome if you could drop a like on them just to show you the support, because obviously I don't get as much support as the Flash ones, but if you do enjoy them and want me to keep doing them, then dropping a like would be greatly appreciated, of course. Let me know your various opinions in the comment section down below, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So an article came out the other day where they were talking about Oliver and his time in prison. Going by Stephen Amell and his updates on Instagram, it does seem that Oliver will still be in prison by episode 4. So who knows when he will be getting out of Slabside. You would obviously have to think before the crossover, but it looks like we could be waiting a while to see him back suited up as the Emerald Archer. But what we are talking about is Oliver's time in prison. So this is something that Stephen Amell said back at Comic-Con in regards to some other people that, will be in prison with Oliver. Oliver is in prison with a bunch of people that he put in prison. We were fortunate enough to get some people back on the show that you haven't seen in quite a while. So we know that, is it Derek Sampson that's in there? And so are Bronze Tiger and Brick. So it will be interesting to see who else shows up and what surprises we have in store for the other members of Slabside Prison. I'm sure we will need more than just these three to give Oliver a hard time whilst he is in there. But the director for the premiere episode of Season 7 of Arrow, that being James Bamford, had some interesting things to say about what they are going for early on this season and the different dynamics to play with Oliver, in the current environment he is in and the various surroundings. So this is what he had to say. We're investigating completely different dynamics within the mythology of the show, and that is within Slabside's Supermax prison. There's a whole world, as you know, within a prison community, and we'll see how long he lasts inside there, and what and who he encounters while he's in there. It's basically left open to multiple possibilities as far as characters that could arise. What I've said to the other folks is, what if Batman got put in prison and, for instance, the Joker was right next door? The possibilities are endless. I can't say exactly who or what's in there, but it's a pretty dark, horrible, evil place. We want the audience to not only feel what it's like to be confined in such a destitute place, I want you to feel what he feels, so you'll get the grit. Now those words from James Bamford just get me so excited. As I was saying, we know from the trailer that we have those three villains of Derek Sampson, Brick, and Bronze Tiger, but who else could show up in that hellhole known as Slabside? Like, no one knew these characters were in this season, we only know thanks to the trailer. Like, if that trailer hadn't shown them, we wouldn't know that those characters were going to be in this season. So Slabside could be full of surprises, not only for Oliver, but also for us as fans as the audience, as we could see the returns of a lot more past villains from the show, which I really hope is the case. Like, I don't want 20 there, like, that might be a bit, a bit overkill, but it'd be cool if we got maybe like up to 7 just past villains that we've seen on the show, and they either maybe help Oliver in certain situations, or are just like a pain in the ass a lot of the time. But thanks to Newsarama, we have a plethora of other stuff to go over in regards to Arrow, so I will leave their article linked in the description down below for those that are interested, because I don't cover everything in this video. So Stephen Amell was asked about how Star City is dealing with the ending of Season 6 and the sudden lack of vigilantes, as well as Oliver's connection to the outside world. We touch upon that a little bit in the premiere and the lack of vigilantes in Star City, but Oliver has effectively no contact with the outside world. His day-to-day in his prison time is just that, just time. He is in jail with people he put in jail. We have been very fortunate to get some people back on the show that haven't been seen in a while. The thing I really enjoy playing in the premiere is there's absolutely nothing heroic about Oliver. In fact, it's kind of the opposite. If you're a fan of his and you root for him, I would really hope the premiere makes you mad. So that actually makes me incredibly intrigued as to what we're going to see. Like, are we going to be seeing Oliver do some, well, not so savory things that, we wouldn't expect Oliver to do? So, that gets me intrigued. I'm interested to see what happens there. But now we go back to James Bamford, who brings up, well, the brutality, I guess, of the show in Season 7, but I will just read out what was said by him. In the premiere, you will find some elements with the Season 1 feel, but you will find other elements that is new, uncharted territory. Beth and I had a phone call with BNSP, which is our censors. A very lengthy phone call about a particular scene that we have never had before. So we are really trying to push the limits on the show in the gritty factor. We're trying to go as far as you can go within the confines of our network and what is expected of us and what we can and can't do. We are not a Netflix, so we will never be able to X, Y, and Z, but we are damn sure going to try. So I am interested as hell to see what this particular scene they are referring to is going to be. Like, is it that shower scene that we saw a decent amount of in the trailer that we got from Comic-Con? Or is it maybe something much darker? Maybe to do with the copycat Green Arrow that we also saw in the trailer, or is it maybe something darker that Oliver does in prison? Maybe it's something that makes him look not very heroic. It has been said a few times by Beth Schwartz, the new showrunner, that this season has the potential, or will be, the darkest season of Arrow yet. So there could be a few moments that may have them calling up their senses to get certain things cleared up, but you'd have to think a lot of it would happen in prison in regards to this dark factor. But yeah, I'm just, as day goes by and we get more info slowly released out, the prison stuff just seems more and more interesting and sort of makes you want Oliver to be in prison for longer. But I guess that depends on the outside world as well. But speaking of Beth Schwartz, she chimed in with some information about the other members of Team Arrow and their places in Season 7 when we pick up. Everyone is spread out doing their own thing. They all get along, everyone is made up since the end of last season, but they've all found what makes them a hero to the city, and this was not necessarily being on the team without their leader. We are going to find them in different roles than we have before. So let's jump into some stuff with those other members, starting off with Wild Dog, our favourite Hoss, using person. So Rick Gonzalez, who plays Rene Ramirez, aka Wild Dog, had this to say about his character and his storyline for Season 7. What I'm instructed to say is redemption. That's been Wild Dog's theme the entire time, it's redemption. Personally speaking, from his perspective, what are the choices of him becoming a vigilante with Oliver going to prison now? Oliver gave a directive saying, hey, keep on fighting. So now we will have to see how Renee interrupts that. I think this entire season will take us all the way back to the beginning of why each character decided to become a vigilante or not, and all the choices they've made in between that leads them to this moment here, which would be the redemption arc we would like to complete for this season. And then finally, Juliana Harkavy, who plays Dinah Drake, had this to say about her character's story in Season 7. It's complicated, but I do think the death of Quentin gave her a little bit of empathy for Black Siren. So the relationship between Dinah and Black Siren will be a sort of an interesting one to follow. Obviously, there was a big rivalry in, basically the beginning, middle, and I guess towards the end portion of last season. But right at the end of last season, you did start to see a swing in their relationship. So it will be interesting to see how that develops moving forward in Season 7. And the last thing to mention around Season 7 stuff is that there will be a new mayor, as you would expect, saying that Oliver went to prison. But it will be interesting to see if it is anyone we know, or just a possible new random threat that Oliver and Team Arrow have to keep their eyes on. But the fact that Beth Schwartz had to bring it up and mention about the new mayor makes me think that, it might be someone that we knew, or it's just going to be a threat. It'll be interesting to see what goes on there. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show your support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions on the stuff we went over in this video. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you later, guys. Goodbye.